Juliet froze. Mr. Bami turned sharply. "Who is this?" David pulled out a folder and sat down. His voice calm but chilling. "I am the man your wife's hired to look into Juliet. And what I found will shock you all." Juliet's breath hitched. Ada and Ruth smiled. Now, the real game was beginning. David wasted no time flipping through the pages of his report. Juliet's world was collapsing. David placed open another file, his expression dark. "You need to see this," he said, his voice grave. Ada and Ruth leaned forward, feeling a chill crawl down their spines. Mr. Bami, still stunned by Juliet's betrayal, stared blankly. David slid the file open, revealing a series of death records, all connected to Juliet, all ruled as mysterious poisonings. Ada's breath caught. Ruth clenched her fist. Juliet's history was worse than they had imagined. David exhaled sharply. "Your wife," he said, locking eyes with Mr. Bami, "has killed before. Not just her husband. More men. More people." Silence hung like a storm ready to break. David continued, his voice sharp and cold. "Every city she has lived in, at least one man has died under suspicious circumstances. Poison. Slow, methodical. Just like what was happening to you." Mr. Bami stiffened. David flipped another page, and there it was, the worst revelation yet. She had killed her own father. And her brother, because they had questioned her. And the child in her womb right now does not belong to you. It belongs to her last husband. Ada gasped. Ruth shook with fury. Juliet had murdered her own blood to maintain control, and now, she had tried to do the same to Mr. Bami. Juliet had been listening the entire time, and as the truth unfolded, she knew this was the end. But she wasn't one to surrender. Instead, she laughed. A sharp, chilling sound that sent a wave of dread through the room. "You think you've won?" she hissed, her voice filled with venom. "You think you can take everything from me?" She sat down shaking, but her eyes were fierce. "I built this. I made him love me. I was going to be the mother of his heir." Mr. Bami was shocked and disgusted. Finally he overpowered the denial in his head. "You are a murderer," he whispered. Juliet's smile twisted. "Then why am I still here?" she sneered. "Because you let me in. Because you trusted me. Because in the end, you are the loser, you weak man, you can't even perform well in the room." Ada moved fast. She grabbed Juliet's wrist before she could throw anything else or attempt an escape. Juliet fought, thrashing wildly, but the household staff had already moved in. She was dragged away, screaming, refusing to accept defeat. Her reign was over, and the wives had won. Juliet sat in the courtroom, her once perfect image reduced to nothing but a shadow of what she used to be. The world had learned her secrets and the trail of poisoned men, the family members who had vanished under suspicious circumstances. There was no mercy for her now. The judge's voice rang through the tense air. "Juliet Bami, you are hereby sentenced to life in prison for multiple counts of premeditated murder." A sharp gasp echoed across the room. Some had hoped she would receive the death penalty. Some felt it was the only true justice for the monster she had become. But life in prison. She would rot in a cage, and that, perhaps, was worse. As the guards dragged Juliet away, she fought, she screamed her last cries of desperation, but no one listened. She was gone. And the nightmare was finally over. Back at the mansion, things were quieter now. The fear had been stripped away. The darkness was lifting, yet, something still weighed on Mr. Bami. One evening, seated in the garden, he turned to Ada and Ruth, his true companions, the women who had saved him from his greatest mistake. "I failed you," he murmured, his voice thick with regret. "I let her into our home. I trusted her, even when the signs were there. I almost lost everything because I refused to listen." Ada reached for his hand, her touch gentle. "You were deceived, my love." "We don't blame you," Ruth nodded. "We only wanted you safe. And now, you are safe." Mr. Bami's eyes shone with gratitude. "You were always my greatest blessings."